as you know, we are going through 5 kingdom classification. We have seen Monera, and now we are going to see Protista. What are Protista? Let's see the general characters. They are single cell, that means the body of the animal is made up of one cell, and they have true nucleus. This is the most important character. These two are the most important character, and they are the advanced features on Monera. In Monera we had seen that they are single cellular and they don't have a true nucleus. That means the nucleus is not, there is no membrane bound nucleus in them, and the genetic material is just lying like that, and it is known as nucleoid. But in Protista, which is a stage above the Monera, this is the evolutionary advantage they have on Monera, is that they have true nucleus. Now, as the evolution is going on, so false nucleus, then true nucleus, single cell, then it will be multiple cell. It is like that. So they have true nucleus. Now, what do we mean by true nucleus? It is like they have one cell, and in that they have genetic material which is bound by a membrane, which is bound by actually a double membrane. It is known as nuclear membrane, right? Now, if nuclear membrane is present, then that cell is known as, that nucleus is known as true nucleus. So, Protista, they have true nucleus. Chromosome has histone protein, another important quality. Histone protein was not there in Monera. It is again an evolutionary advancement. But in Protista, we see histone protein. Now, what do histone protein do? In the time of packaging, when the chromosomes are packaged and they are like how they are in the nucleus, isn't it? So, the chromosome is associated with histone protein. Chromosome is associated with histone protein. Okay, so histone protein is an integral part of eukaryotic cell, and Protista is eukaryotic cell, so they have histone protein in them. They have membrane bound organelle. Again, this one was not there in Monera, but they have membrane bound organelle like mitochondria, plastate, then Golgi body, endoplasmic reticulum. All of them are present in the cell. Nutrition is holozoic type, phototropic type, saprophytic or parasitic. All type of nutrition is available here. Reproduction is by sexual and asexual means. Now, classification of Protista is done as, like, they have special features in them. They have all type of characters. They are plant-like also, they are animal-like also. So, based on these characters, they have been divided into 3 groups. What are they? First is photosynthetic Protista, who can, those protists which can photosynthesize, that means they have chlorophyll in them. They come under this group. Then protozoan Protista, which are animal-like. Earlier, actually, this protozoa, when we were studying, protozoa were separate class in Animalia, but now it has been in 5 kingdom classification, they have been included in Protista. So, this is protozoan Protista, and then there is slime mold, which is somewhere in between these two, okay, and they have some features like fungus also. So, these 3 classification, we shall go through these 3 one by one and see them in details. So, these are the characters of Protista. We are now seeing the types of Protista. There are 3 types of Protista. The first one is photosynthetic Protista, second one is protozoan Protista, and the third one is slime mold. So here we are seeing the photosynthetic Protista. Let's see the characters. Chloroplast present. So very important character. The chloroplast will be present in photosynthesis. Photosynthetic. So the name itself says that chloroplast is present. Then they have pyrenoid. What is pyrenoid? It is the reserve food material, and since it is photosynthetic type, the reserve food material will be starch. Okay, so the cell has starch content in it, which is called pyrenoid. So photosynthetic protists will have pyrenoid in its body. Then they have chromatophore like carotene and xanthophyll. These are the coloring pigments. These are the pigments which provide orange color, yellow color. All these colors are provided by this pigments. They are known as chromatophore. So carotene, xanthophyll, they are present in protist. So you must have seen sometimes the surface of the ocean, it becomes orangish in color. or it becomes bright red, sometimes pink. They look so beautiful and people wonder what has happened. So the thing that has happened is there is an algal bloom. These are algae after all. These are protists which has chlorophyll in it. They are known as algae. So it's algal bloom. Those algae which have carotene and xanthophyll. So they impart color. They may be single or colonial or filamentous. Asexual reproduction is by fission. A cell breaks into two. Multiple fission, one cell breaks into multiple numbers, or budding. It's an outgrowth of the cell. Sexual reproduction is by Singhvi. Okay, now let us see the examples of photosynthetic bacteria. Number one, it will be Euglena. Then there will be diatom. Then there will be dinoflagellate. All these and many more, they comprise photosynthetic bacteria. And you'll be surprised to know one thing, that diatom and dinoflagellate, they constitute majority of phytoplanktons. Most of the phytoplanktons are diatoms or dinoflagellate or some of the photosynthetic protists. So this one, and there is one more important feature of Euglena as well as diatom. Let's go through them quickly. Okay, so I'll just rub a little portion of this. I hope you can still the video and you can copy if you want. I'll just rub this much part so that we can discuss the major important qualities of diatom and Euglena. Euglena has a very interesting feature. It stands between plant and animal. In what way? Let us see. Let me use green. Use green because since it's Euglena is green in color. So Euglena, how does it look? It is somewhat like this. Leaf shape. Okay, and it has a flagella like this. Okay, now I was speaking about the plant and animal quality of Euglena. Euglena has an interesting feature which is known as eye spot. It is photoreceptor. That means it can respond to light. It cannot literally see as we do, but it can be a precursor of this sense organ. Okay, so Euglena, this is an animal feature. Plus, it has got it is eye spot. Then this one Euglena, it has pellicle covering. It has got no cell wall. It has got no cellulosic cell wall. It has pellicle. So absence of cell wall again makes it close to animal. Animals don't have cell wall. This one also does not have cell wall. But it has what it has? It has chloroplast. It has chloroplast. So this is plant character. So it has both animal and plant character. So this is for Euglena. Now there is one important feature of diatom which I would like to discuss. Let's use red color. Diatom is the cell is such that it is made in two halves. Okay, it will look like a soap dish which has two halves, petri dish. Okay, so and the halves they are made of silica. That means they have on their cell wall, they have silica. And what happens when the organism dies, this silica, it settles to the bottom of river or ocean or sea and it forms diatomaceous earth. It forms what? Diatomaceous earth. Now this is a very important product for industries. It is used in as filter, it is used as insulator and many more work this diatomaceous earth has, and it is procured from where? From diatoms. And what is diatom? It is a type of photosynthetic protist. So these were the important characters regarding this topic, and now we shall move on to the next one. Now we shall see the characters of protozoan Protista. Protozoan protista means those protists which are closer to animals in their structure. Earlier, this protozoan protista was not there. Like when we were studying, at that time protozoa was included with animal group itself. Okay, there was no protist at that time. We were not doing 5 kingdom classification at that time. That has been introduced now. So, in 5 kingdom classification, this protozoa group has been introduced in Protista because they are single cell character. That's why. So let us see what are the characters. They may be circular, oval or rod-like, the shape. They may be aquatic, terrestrial, commensal or parasitic. Commensal, what do we mean by this? They live in other organisms but they do not cause any harm to them. Whereas parasitic, they live in other organism and they cause considerable harm to that organism. Common reserve food matter is glycogen. Very much animal quality. In plants, the reserve food is starch, not glycogen. But in animals, the reserve food is glycogen. So, this is animal quality. Contractile vacuole is present. This is another important character. Contractile vacuole. What is this? It's a vacuole which can contract, as the name suggests, and it can be a precursor of muscle, because the thing that contracts in our body, that is muscle, isn't it? So, contractile vacuole is present in protist and it helps in osmoregulation as well as it helps in excretion. Asexual reproduction, similar as in the earlier protist. Sexual reproduction is also by Singhvi, and here is one more important feature which is conjugation, as is seen in bacteria. Conjugation in bacteria, that is genetic recombination. So, similar process is found in some of the protists also. Now, locomotory organelle is very important in protozoan protists, and based on them, the group has been divided into 4 types. What are these? Let's see. Zooflagellate, where the locomotory organelle is flagella. I couldn't write the example here. You can note it down. It is Giardia, Leishmania, Trypanosoma. These are zooflagellates. Then Sarcodina, where the locomotory organelle is pseudopodia, like amoeba, entamoeba. They will come under Sarcodina. Third is Sporozoa, which has got no locomotory organ, because most of them, or rather all of them, are parasitic. Sporozoa protists, they are parasitic, like Plasmodium. They don't need any locomotory organelle because they move with the body fluid. Then Ciliata, which has cilia as their outgrowth. Okay, they help in various things, locomotion or attaching to substrate or whatever. They have different functions. Ciliata, like Paramecium. Okay, so these are the examples of the group. And one more thing I would like to mention here is about Paramecium, which is not found in any other animal kingdom or whatever. So what is that? Let us just see quickly. Paramecium has an important feature which goes something like this. Say roughly I'll just draw. It is known as slipper animalcule. Okay, slipper animalcule. Slipper animalcule. Animalcule is short animal, and slipper means slipper, the slipper which you wear. The shape is something like this. Shape is something like this. Something like a slipper. Okay. And the important character which I wanted to say is this Paramecium. It has got 2 nuclei. It is binucleated, and the special feature about both these nuclei is this. This is known as macro nuclei, and this is micronuclei. They have kind of division of labor here. Macronuclei sees the functioning, the normal functioning of the cell, growth and all those things, metabolism. And micronuclei, it is concerned with reproduction. So this is an important feature. This is binucleated cell, example of binucleated cell, and there is a division of labor within the nucleus. And this paramecium, it reproduces sexual reproduction by conjugation. Paramecium shows this sexual reproduction. That is also an important feature. Sometimes it may be asked what are the special features of paramecium. So these are the things. Last of Protista is slime mold. Slime mold is a very interesting kind of organism. They have characters which are similar to fungus, like they have spores. Then they have characters similar to animals also. They have phagotropic nutrition like animals. They have absence of chlorophyll. And they are similar to plants also, as in they have cell wall. So it's a very interesting group of organism. They are decomposers. They live on organic matter. Example is Physerum comatrica.